Hey everybody, so today, I don't want to say it's a special treat, but it's a little bit different than our typical video. You know, normally it's an antique store or a historical site, and I guess you could say this is a historical site.
I would say it's a historical site.
Maybe should have done this around October and around Halloween because this is haunted. Maybe we see a ghost, maybe we don't. You'll have to watch the video to find out. We're going to take some pictures while we're in here, and you know, maybe some apparition will show up and, you know, wave hi to us or something. I don't know. A lot of history here, a lot of scary history here, and
tell them where we're at, babe. So
where we are is Brushy Mountain State Penitentiary. It was opened in 1896. Only closed in 2009, but there was a lot of evil, bad things happened here. So let's go check this out. They have a lot here now, so follow us. Danger, Will Robinson, danger, and enter at your own risk. So this is our first stop. So when you first get here, they have a gift shop where you get your tickets. And that's where we are, Brushy Mountain. So I find this hilarious. So for infant and youth, they have little
jailbait outfits.
Yeah, that is hilarious. Yeah, how cute is that? There's a lot of history here that can't possibly fit into one small video. But to give you a brief history of Brushy, after the Civil War, the southern states were broke, and the government couldn't afford to maintain prisons, so they started leasing inmates out to the coal companies. This led to the Coal Creek War, where free miners attacked the inmates and guards and sent them out of town on trains. They were, however, sent back, this time with state troops, for protection. Life inside Brushy was horrible, with violence and disease. There was a lot of death there. Inmates were beaten for underproducing in the mines, and many died. The original structure was wooden and was replaced in the 1920s by the structure that you'll see here in this video. Mining was the sole mission of this prison until the 1960s. In 1957, they shut down the hole and built D Block for the worst inmates. Some of the most famous inmates here were James Earl Ray, who assassinated Martin Luther King, Byron Low-Tax Looper, who shot his political rival, and Paul Dennis Reed, the fast food killer, named so for killing 2 co-workers at Captain D's, 3 more at McDonald's, and 2 more from Baskin-Robbins. The prison finally closed in 2009 and reopened in 2018 for tours. There's now a distillery there and a restaurant also, and they also have concerts. So now on to the self-guided tour. And they got the Blues Brothers in prison here. Now they also have a tasting station, because there is a man, my head is not with it today. There is a and I was going to say winery, but that's not right. But they do have a, they make their own alcohol here. End of the line. Different moonshine. And I love this bus they have sitting here. It says Death Row, the Warden. They actually have a skeleton in there driving it, and I'm not sure if you can see that or not, but Brushy Mountain State Pen.
They have parking below and parking up above here.
Yeah, or you can stay in the bottom parking lot and walk up, but. So, our car, we came a little overdressed. Our car's a little too fancy for here today.
There's the whole side-by-side 4x4.
Yep. And here's where the tour entrance.
He's on the little floor. Come on, guys, step back so we can get up here.
Hi.
Hi.
Here we go.
Is there a certain way?
It's awful dark in here.
It is pretty dark in here.
I think it's for effect. So, this building is an original. The building that stood here prior had burnt down. It was constructed of wood.
Right. It's a
This
general
was
admission.
Yep. During the course of Brushy Mountain State Prison Illustrators, 113-year history. The rooms along the main entrances, hallways, and various uses, depending on the needs of the prison at the time.
You can see it over here.
So there was layers of security to get into the hub
Right.
of the officers and the wardens. So only one of 3 trapdoor gates were allowed to open at any given time to help ensure the safety of the prison staff and the visitors.
This would have been it. Your freedom is gone. As I like to say, don't do the crime unless you can do the time or something like that.
Yeah. So if you put that
What's
up against the glass, it looks like this is where the intake, where you put your personal belongings in, and this is probably where you get your number
Yeah.
and come through.
Now, women prisoners were never allowed to spend the night, but they were held in this little cell here until they would get picked up by a bus. And they had a commissary. One of the many mailboxes for mail pickup. It's kind of ominous in here, isn't it?
Everything is cages and concrete.
Yeah.
Well, if you look up around the architecture of the building,
Yeah.
we just heard somebody whistling, which is kind of ominous out here.
Here, they had really harsh discipline here, and this is the whipping post, which they would lash.
While Brushy was notorious for the dangerous housing of labor conditions, one of the most notable and unfortunate facts of this prison was the manner in which the guards doled out the disciplinary actions. Whippings were commonplace and carried out using the 4-foot leather strap attached to a baseball bat handle.
Yeah, which I think we'll get to see that here in a little bit. Yeah, prisoners were beat again and again, and it said that the screams from the inmates could routinely be heard by the townsfolk and nearby Petros.
Whippings were only officially outlawed at Brushy in 1965, when the warden there at that time declared an act to be inhumane. But there's reason to believe they still continued behind closed doors rather than in the middle of the courtyard.
Yeah.
We're surrounded by Tennessee mountains, by the way, and it is cliff type mountains and pretty harsh conditions straight up.
Yeah.
Typical Tennessee mountains. Beautiful, but typical harsh.
And probably the most famous inmate that was held here was James Earl Ray, which we'll get more into that later.
Some of the buildings have their date on them as 1941 as a cornerstone for being built in that era.
Let's go in here and check out the museum. So this here was the laundry room.
The residents of this town, of this central town, could bring their laundry to be laundered here at the prison for free. At that time, that was significant. James Earl Ray, infamous James Earl Ray, worked in the laundry room, reportedly grew a watermelon patch that he had tended out back. How?
Look at that hallway.
It's deep, dark.
Not seeing any ghosts. But like I said, we'll take some pictures and maybe something will turn up. And we'll post those at the end of this video. And also to know they have these nice little arrows that tell you where to go. Just follow them around. And we're going to go in here next. Unless Steph-N-Lee wants to go down in the hole
Not
next.
yet.
Not yet. Okay, we're going to come back.
I gotta get hyped up.
She got to get hyped up for that. Hey, now it's warm in here. I'll try to get this as best I can. But this is some of the artwork by the inmates. They have in here on the walls. She's really talented. I mean, look at that. Now, the actual escape ladder used by James Earl Ray, June of 1977.
This is his artwork as well. James Earl Ray's actual artwork. And his prison shot.
A bunch of the old articles here. There was a lot of conspiracy surrounding the James Earl Ray escape and trial and the whole bit. And that had to deal with the FBI possibly killing Martin Luther King and not James Earl Ray, but yeah, so at times when some of the inmates escaped, of course that became very dangerous, and unfortunately correctional officer Cotton Morgan was killed, I believe, trying to apprehend one of the people that escaped. They have a nice thing here for him.
So this would be prison art, tramp art, something to do with using their talents, leather works.
Now look at that.
Here's an entire storybook
Puff the Magic Dragon.
and illustrated by prisoners.
This handmade brass knuckles and prison-made dice and dice horns.
Nunchucks.
Yeah, how about that? Different things that were confiscated.
You could even get yourself tattooed while you're in here. Imagine that.
Yeah, that's cool. Something you didn't want to see. Different shanks.
Where there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah, look at that, out of a roller yet. It's the different ways they would hide the contraband. Hollow out a piece of soap or a Bible.
Put it inside.
Oh wow,
Domino.
inside a domino. Yeah, that was pretty smart. I mean, I gotta say.
Inside an 8-track tape. It's interesting.
Oh wow, yeah, inside a shield. And there's the shape of the prison, like a cross. Guess depending on which side you're on. I mean, an upside down cross, but. And there's the strap used by the guards. Some leg irons. And here's an inmate mining uniform. And there's the officer's uniform.
These look like 80s, 1980s pictures.
They have, yeah, the correctional officer ID photos.
The facilities here, while this was a functioning penitentiary, were immaculate.
Yeah,
It didn't look at all like it looks now.
right. An old checkerboard.
And a lot of these things are found items.
Yeah. And one of the guard towers. Get a little Jesus for them, for the inmates.
There's 1938 building that we just came out of, which is being used as a museum, and they also have the hole available
Yeah,
for
which
us to
we're
go
gonna-
into next.
Yeah. And then imagine
2 stories.
being locked up in there, in
That
here.
building's open.
Yeah. Nope. I am not the one. Heading down to look at the hole. Ain't no sunshine when you're locked in here.
Absolutely not.
Nope. They even had a loss of vision. Ain't no
The extreme
sunshine.
physical, mental, and emotional effects of solitary confinement in such dire conditions reportedly weighed heavily on this warden, Joe Freytag.
We're putting Stephanie in the hole. Get in there.
Reportedly, there are etchings in the wall and the plaster. A lot of it could be modern graffiti as well, but it's hard to tell the difference.
Yeah, I'm not really seeing a lot.
These are hinges. If there was a bed where it wouldn't have had a mattress.
No. And that would have been the only window, if you want to call it a window. And there's little holes in the door.
Into
Yeah, some of these cells.
these are really
Look at that.
bad guys.
There's your bed. And there's your toilet over there.
From what we understood, there could be anywhere from 6 inmates
Yeah,
in a cell
up to 6, yeah.
with 2 bunks.
And you can see how tall. Many levels. Crime doesn't pay. We'll say that much. Not to be locked in something like this. So something very notable, with 2/3 of inmates working in the coal mines, keeping hundreds of convicts in line inside damp, crowded, dark caves was no easy feat. Each man hauled several tons of coal each day, brutally whipped if quotas were not met. Prisoners were also often stripped of their shirt, put atop a donkey that barely cleared the cave ceiling, and made to ride the mine trail until their backs were severely scraped. As a result, hostage incidents, escaped attempts, and inmate revolts were not uncommon. In 1959, the prison was made national news when inmates rigged well over 200 sticks of dynamite and threatened to blow up the mine if working conditions did not improve. Finally, in 1967, after a rockfall killed 2 convicts, Warden Lake Russell ordered the mines to be permanently closed. The decades-long legacy of inmates mining coal at Brushy had finally ended.
Well, you might want to. The state of Tennessee reportedly saved massive funds off the free labor of prisoners and miners. The prison held 976 captives in 1931, 300 more than it was licensed to, and was often compared to the notorious Sebastian prisons of the Russian regime.
Siberian prisons, yeah. Yeah, not a good place to be at any time. In one of the showers. And that's just my shadow, not a ghost. It looks like possibly, I don't know if that's I guess where they would have got their hair cut. That's my guess. And the other side, pretty much same as the first, with the shower and the different cells. Set up the same way. And I can tell you now, it's a cold day here. It's only like 50 degrees, but supposedly it was really cold. Stephanie actually talked to one of the people that was an inmate here, and he was saying, what about the cold?
That it was so cold that the wall he was sleeping against froze. And
that was in the 70s.
it was recently as the 70s. Yeah. There was no air conditioning or heating, no luxuries like today's prisons.
Right.
They worked hard for their time.
Now this is a picture of Geronimo, the most legendary pet, which was a baby fawn that was found by a guard after it fell from a ledge into the yard. And the little deer had an affinity for cigarette butts and orange slices and lifesavers, and he felt right at home inside the walls of Brushy. He was reportedly found napping in prison cells, once even dined in the cafeteria. And they didn't put him back in the wild because they thought the inmates would likely riot in a protest. Now we're gonna go up the steps here. It's a grievance box. And it's the same as downstairs with the shower. And originally these these cages were not here. So we've heard that many people were pushed
over
the edge
main railing.
to their death. And there's also a story of somebody trying to jump from one of the upper levels to get out the windows and didn't make it. Yeah, here's the cafeteria. Now, I don't know if this artwork was on the walls back then. I'm going to assume it was, just because of the way it's peeling off the walls now. It says, beyond homegrown grub, the cafeteria served up plenty of murder and mayhem. There was an inmate who cut in line and soon felt the business end of a hammer hit to his head. Here you would have got served your food with your tray, which they actually have a restaurant here that we plan on trying today. What do you think, Stephanie?
It's intense. The visit today here at Brushy Penitentiary is intense.
That it is.
This looks...
Yeah, like somebody, possibly inmates scratch stuff in there. So I thought this pretty interesting. So it says, interestingly enough, the same men serving life sentences for killing humans turned out to be animal lovers. I don't know what that says about animal lovers, but yeah.
The strong attachments they made with the surrounding wildlife over the years were memorialized in the wall paintings created by a few prisoners dabbling as undercover artists.
Yeah, thinking it would boost morale and improve cafeteria atmosphere, the warden allowed the men to come help at night after dinner. They initially cleaned the walls, then went on to draw sketches and eventually painted animal portraits and other picturesque scenes of the outside world. And I thought it was funny, there's the outlaws of the animal world, the thieves of the animal world.
Uh-huh.
The artwork is pretty amazing in here.
Yeah, they're definitely artists.
Yep. So I don't know what that says about artists or animal lovers, but
there's parts of the prison that have really become dilapidated.
yeah. Yeah, this did not look this way when
It was taken very good care of. It was in immaculate condition when it closed.
yeah. Now we're out on the other side here. Stephanie said she's not going to ever break the law. She's like, I'm not going to lock me up in a place like this. No, sir. This here's inside D block. Stuck in solitary. And this is where they would get some outside time, wasn't it?
Yeah, this is it.
So,
The most evil.
yeah, this was not a good place to be, as you can see. And now it's got kudzu vines all over it and through it, and they would have to put their hands and feet through those holes there to be locked back up, shackled. That's why the little doors at the bottom and the top, before they would let them out.
Yep, confined in a cage from top
Yeah.
to bottom and shackled.
They actually had an electric chair here, but it was never used. But it did have a name, Sparky.
And they did have a chin-up bar. Did you catch that?
Yeah.
There's a chin-up bar so they could get some upper body strength exercise.
And we'll come in here and
And here they hung a punching bag.
yes, yeah, they used to have a punching bag. Not a lot to keep you occupied. So let's take a look at this D block.
Oh, it's dark. Dark and dank
Yes, dark.
through the glass. And so actually even painted dark colors.
Not that we can see anything through there, but
This is another form of the hole for dangerous criminals.
yeah. And that's leading to outside.
Big metal levers.
Yeah.
Lock the doors behind you. These are in very poor condition.
Yep. That looks like that was possibly the shower in there. Yeah, you can see how they didn't have a lot of room. Toilet and the sink combined.
These are a bit smaller.
Yep. But you were in there by yourself, so take that for what it's worth.
Yeah, probably if you're returned from trying to escape, you went into this type of a hole.
Yeah, it says it was for the most violent. Most violent criminals. It's the other side. I mean, even the windows to leave light in were all but so thick they didn't leave much light in.
It's a literal fortress of despair.
Yeah. I would say Dracula's castle, but that might be too kind of words. All right, so let's check out this gymnasium. Well, gymnasium's pretty big.
Oh my goodness.
Now, I think this kind of funny, seeing as, typically criminals would be violent, right? So often used for boxing matches where inmates squared off inside a ring to the cheers of the other inmates betting on the bout. Now here we got the yard, and you can see the mountain back there and the cliffs. This is kind of cool. But it says that the yard was used as a groomed golf course at one time, with greens comprising of sand and a baseball park complete with bases, home plate, and a pitcher's mound. Town folk often attended the games between the guards and inmates. So how about that? Now they also have concerts up here now, which I'm assuming they use the stage there for. It is kind of, being down in here and, having the scenery, really. I mean, you're down in here around all these mountains.
Hopefully the prisoners here would be taking away, the beauty of these mountains in their despair back in their cells. I mean, you can almost imagine why they would give up anything trying to get out.
Yeah.
The despair of those cells, to see and to be in nature.
Now I'll be the first one to say we did a terrible job following the arrows, didn't we?
We just kept getting distracted. There was too many wonderful things to go see.
Yeah. I don't know that we were in here though.
No, this is on benches.
Yeah.
Looks like a transfer.
Or overflow area, yeah. Get some pictures in here and see if we can't find a ghosty. And here they had an area to play basketball also. Inside the castle. So we're back down at the gift shop, and now we're going to go check out and try this restaurant, which is pretty awesome in here, I think. Isn't it?
Yeah, I love it. It's pretty cool.
They serve you on metal trays, which is kind of cool. You can actually see them making the meals back there. So let's take a look at what they got. Some killer potatoes. Hopefully. Nope, not ready yet. Some plates. So here's a little look. Like you said, you can sit in there in the bars, and then they call you when your order's ready. Just so you're aware, Stephanie got the pulled pork plate, potato salad, and criminal caviar, and I got the 3 cheese burger with potato salad, 2 fountain drinks. The total was $34.76. They do have alcohol here, but like I said, if you drink the alcohol, they pull you over a mile down the road and then lock you up in here. So, and check out this wall behind us. I thought that was pretty cool. Oh, they have the stone sticking through, and the tables are pretty nice.
honey, I want to point out, this,
Yes.
it's not just the structure of the prison that's here.
Right.
It is,
Right, they have concerts, they have paranormal tours here, and private events. So they do a lot of stuff here.
it's worth it for the history, and the staff have lots of stories to tell if you ask them, which we recommend you do.
And there's our food, so I'm gonna go get that. All right, so it's gonna take Stephanie a while to get situated, but I wanted to show my burger, the 3 cheese, a lot of cheese on there. Then we got the pickles, onions, tomato, lettuce, mayo, potato salad, and they give you a chocolate chip cookie, which I thought's kind of nice. Now Stephanie got that,
I got cornbread cake with pulled pork,
looks like a pancake.
and they gave you a cookie, which I didn't even ask for, but that's a sweet little topper.
Yep.
And their potato salads, their own recipe, and this is that killer caviar, or criminal caviar, which is a bean and corn medley with peppers.
Right. What's the,
It looks like a relish to go with your, maybe a little slaw relish.
yep, and then barbecue sauce. So we're gonna try this and let you know what we think then.
So when they say sweet tea in the South, if you don't believe it, take a sip of this.
Yeah, amen.
Yeah.
That's diabetes. That's diabetes in a.
Liquid form.
Yeah, oh my gosh.
It's all right. It's all right. It's what I asked for.
I wanted to show the potato salad once you got underneath the cheese, but it really good. So I'm going to show the photos that we took while we were going around there. I'm going to show those now, and if you do see a ghost or whatever in there, please leave a comment below. And I think if we found a ghost, it's worth a thumbs up and probably even a subscribing to our channel. But they're going to show right now. Okay, so what did you think of the Wardens Table?
Was perfect. It was perfect ending to a perfect day trip.
Yeah,
And a tour
it really was.
to the museum and the complex.
Now, I would say my burger was pretty average. Nothing to write home about. Nothing special.
I would agree. Like my pork and barbecue and the slaw that went on the barbecue, everything paired lovely. No complaints. I didn't have any complaints about the refreshing. It was more like a chow or a 3-bean salad.
Yeah, that was the caviar. The
criminal caviar.
Yeah.
They call it, which was a clever name for it. And as well as the their potato salad, which is their own recipe, to me tasted straight up. Instead of expecting a potato salad, expect a baked potato with sour cream and butter. That's what you're going to get. That's their.
Yeah, I really liked it.
It was great for me too, but it was just a lot of food.
Yeah.
It was a lot of food. It didn't maybe look like a lot of food on my tray, but it worked. It really was. And our bill was $34.
Right.
Include
Which isn't bad.
endless drinks,
Right.
fountain drink.
Now, it cost us $47 for the tour.
For the self-guided tour
Yeah.
through the complex and the museum
Right.
of the grounds. They also had Moonshine, their own moonshine here.
Yeah, they have a distillery here.
And they have tastings, and I was tempted to do that, but it was just a bit much. This trip was a wonderful. It was a good kind of overload. You're in a secluded area.
Yeah, and it's about 2 hours from our house to get here.
But this has been a penitentiary of many hardships and it's hard for anybody modern to understand, but what we learned was that in the 1890s-ish, you could get put into prison for lying.
Or cussing.
Or in the 19-teens for dancing.
Yeah, so
there was, you would come to a hardcore prison and be sentenced for crimes against the community, which at that time, being a Bible Belt, being very strict in morals,
was a lot different than today.
Very much so. There's a lot of aspects about this prison. The fact that it's redesigned after its initial use, was redesigned as an upside down cross or a cross figure.
Right. We've heard that there's a demonic spirit, demonic, whatever you want to call it, a demon that resides in there.
That would fuel some of the more violent prisoners. And it's easy to understand, but evil's everywhere.
And I think they've said that there was, more than 10,000 deaths here?
Over 10,000 deaths here. They, of course, didn't document all the burials.
No.
Or how they were buried, or what they died from.
Yeah.
There was a lot of history and stuff that they're still uncovering.
Right.
As well. So it's such a jam-packed expression of history.
Yep.
Because it's from such a long time period.
Yeah.
That this complex is based on, and now they're turning it all around to make it available to us and to help the future of this county. If
you have an unruly child, I suggest bringing them here and possibly locking them up in one of these buildings for a little bit. Might change the ways.
There happen to be lots of worthwhile videos on Brushy State Penitentiary.
Brushy Mountain.
So we highly recommend you visit them as well.
Yeah. So we want to thank everybody for watching. Hope you like this video as much as we had fun walking around this place. It was amazing.
It was amazing. We took our time. We indulged. We read everything. We hope we brought it to you.
Yep. So if you like this video, please like and subscribe. Hit the little bell. That'll let you know when we post again. And until next time,
have a Steph-N-Lee day.